I was watching some of the footage of the demonstrations in Paris, and there was a lot of people holding up pencils and pens like this. I don't know if they use those pencils and pens a lot or not. I know I use mine. This is my favorite pencil. I have a bunch of them, but this is my favorite one. The 4mm rectangular lead pencil. I actually like it so much and use it that I have a lot of them. I have 15, 20 of these right here, and I have a bunch over there floating around, and lots of leads to refill them. You know a lot of what I have in mind, my thoughts and such, but you don't know everything about me. One of the things I've always enjoyed the most is drawing and sketching and painting. But drawing the most is maybe one of the things that has defined me always is drawing. I always enjoyed doing it as a kid. You know, I was the kid that drew well. Even as I grew up older and in university and, you know, sketching and such. But as a kid, I really liked drawing as well, and it was definitely one of those things that defined me as a person. Still does. Now the thing is, when I was maybe 12 years old, 20, 25 years ago, I got into a fight with a kid in school. I don't even remember what happened, if he even punched me or insulted me or what happened there. But I know I was very mad at him, and he was quite bigger than I was. I didn't fight him or anything. I went back to my classroom and started drawing with a pencil. I started doing a cartoon of him. It was the time I was reading Mad magazine. And the drawing I was doing was quite good. You could see it, you could recognize him, his face and such. It was quite good, but it was also very mean as well. This kid was not just bigger, he was overweight, so I drawed him with smaller clothes and rolls of fat falling on the sides and such. He was holding a burger and a hot dog on each hand, and his face was all messed up with grease, and he had a faucet on the side of the belly open with fat flowing out of it, and then a little arrow that said fat, and a bunch of our stuff. A friend of mine saw it and said, "Can I have it?" I said, "Yeah, here you go." Now the thing is, I forgot about it, went back home. The following day when I came back to school, it turns out this kid's father had a Xerox machine. He worked in IBM, and he was maybe the only guy in the entire neighborhood that had a Xerox machine. And this kid had made 30, 50 copies of that drawing. And he had spread it all over school. Now I thought, this kid, is going to be beating the crap out of me when he sees the drawing I did. He didn't. When he got to school, everyone was making fun of him. Everyone had a copy. Guys, this was before internet. This was before scanners and printers. It was something you didn't see every day. So everyone was making fun of him, and he was, really crushed. I ruined this kid's an important part of this kid's life with a pencil without even realizing it. I was just, a kid back then, and I got called by the principal, explained that was that what I had done was wrong and such, and it was before there was all the awareness on bullying and such, but it was it was a pretty big deal. Only years later I realized how much that kid had been changed by what happened, how much he was affected by it to a great degree. I mean, that freaking drawing was still floating around months later, even years later. Always someone had a copy of it somehow, and maybe when I was 14, 15 years old, I realized how much damage I had done to him. That kid was never the same after that. And I completely understand how in different circumstances that kid could have easily killed himself because of what happened, or maybe come back to school with a gun and shot someone easily, because you can do a lot of harm with a pencil. If you put your heart to it, you can do it, or even without even knowing it. If you are a kid like I was, you can do it as well. And that's why when I read the headline on CNN that says, "French cartoonist killed in Paris took a profane aim at the world," I wonder why he was taking a profane aim at the world in the first place. And I completely 100% condemn the terrorist attacks that took place. no question there whatsoever. Absolutely, disgusting what happened, and any form of violence, let alone terrorist attacks in such a way. There's no room for that in any civilized society. Absolutely not. But I still wonder, why would you do that in the first place? Why would you go? I mean, I did it when I was 12 years old, and I didn't even know what I was doing. Why would an adult dedicate his life? And think about this for a second. Getting up every day, working on doing something, doing cartoons that are going to be insulting in the most important way, insulting what millions of people consider sacred pretty much on a daily basis as your line of work. Why would you do that? I just don't understand it. I made a mistake of looking up some of Charlie Hebdo's cartoons and saw, he was insulting Christians, Jews, Muslims, also some nasty things on politicians. But the religious stuff, it just makes you wonder why. I saw one of those that was like a pornographic scene of Jesus Christ and God. I mean, something very twisted, something very wrong with that. And maybe someone like me sees it and says, I'm not going to be wasting a single more second in this. You just look something, you just don't give it the attention that it in your opinion does not deserve. Now, this person, Charlie Hebdo, is being considered a martyr of freedom of speech, and journalists and cartoonists. I don't think it's. I don't think it's any of those. I mean, it's not humor. I mean, humor is when everyone is laughing, not when you're insulting someone, and maybe you're laughing, I suppose, and you're pissing off millions of people around the world. I don't think that's humor when you are dedicating yourself to upset and insult the most sacred, literally what people consider sacred. When you're insulting that on purpose, I don't know to get what result. It's not journalism either, because there's no research involved. There's no thought process there, nothing to think about other than seeing an insulting cartoon. There really isn't. And don't even waste time looking it up. It's not worth it. Some of the things that I've seen, pretty disgusting on their own. Now, I don't think any of this changes because this person was killed. I think it's horrible that it happened. I condemn it 100%. It shouldn't have happened. Absolutely not. But it doesn't make him a better person, or it doesn't change what he has been doing for years. For years, this person has been insulting people in the worst possible way, and because of freedom of speech, he has a right to insult people, and that shouldn't change. I think we all have the right to be as much of as stupid as we want to be in that regard, as long as it's not illegal, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be illegal for you to express your opinion freely. Now, in this case, the opinion he had was to insult people, as many people as he could on a daily basis. Now, freedom of speech, there's certain things that you cannot get away with. I mean, even legally, if I get into an airplane and I start screaming, I have a bomb, I'm going to be killing everyone, I cannot claim freedom of speech. I'm going to be going to jail in most countries because of that, because of something that someone may consider, hey, it's my freedom of speech. Well, in that case, you end up in jail. Now, if I go to a poor part of town, or look for a certain minority part of town, and I start insulting racial slurs to everyone around me, maybe that's going to be my freedom of speech. But there's a good chance that I keep doing that every single day, someone's going to be bashing my head in, someone's going to be killing me or hurting me, especially if I keep doing that on a daily basis. And it's not making it right. I'm absolutely not. And I don't think that there's any any other way to look at it. This attack should not have happened, right? Now, the difference, what I don't think I am, because everyone now is saying I am Charlie Hebdo, or Je suis Charlie Hebdo, whatever it's called. I'm not Charlie Hebdo. I don't agree with that sort of way. I don't agree with it being okay to insult people. And I, of course, don't agree with killing each other either and killing people either, but I don't agree with insulting people on purpose every single day. You know, I don't think there's anything constructive about that, and I don't think he's a martyr for doing that. I think he was just as much of a jerk as he was when he was alive as he is now. That hasn't changed. And even though I'm sorry for every one of those people that died, including Charlie Hebdo, I'm especially sad about the police officer that died trying to protect his right to be a jerk, you know. I think he was even a Muslim, the police officer that died defending something that he probably didn't agree with and felt it insulted as well. You know, that's particularly sad. Now, in maybe Charlie's Hebdos and people that think like him, in their idea of a perfect world, you should have the right to insult everyone as much as possible and nothing should happen to you. All right, that's what they think it's a perfect world. The difference is that in my idea of a perfect world, you wouldn't be insulting people in the first place. Okay, folks, that's my take on it. That's my opinion. You may agree with it or not. Comments, as always, welcome. Guys, take care. Have a great day. See you on the next video.